Welcome back to Internet Court. This is a case where a line was crossed quietly. No shouting, no threats, no single explosive moment. And when the response finally came, it didn't look violent or reckless. It looked deliberate, calculated, and now the Internet is split. Because while most people understand why the response happened, not everyone agrees it should have. Tonight's question is simple but uncomfortable. When someone crosses a boundary at work, how far is too far when you push back? She set one boundary at work, just one, and instead of respecting it, they quietly erased her. No announcement, no explanation, just small changes that added up to something unmistakable. By the time she responded, the damage was already done, and now her response itself is on trial. This case centers on Maya, a mid-level project coordinator at a mid-sized company. She was not new, she was not expendable. She was also not untouchable. She worked under a department manager named Evan, someone known for being personable, flexible, and very good at making decisions feel informal. Too informal, some would say. The line that gets crossed in this story is not dramatic, but it is clear. And the response that follows is something many people secretly fantasize about, but hesitate to carry out. The line was crossed when Maya said, "I'm not comfortable discussing my medical information with my manager." After that, her role began to disappear. Maya had been with the company for just over 3 years. She wasn't a star performer, but she was dependable. She handled scheduling, internal communications, vendor coordination, and project timelines. The kind of job where mistakes were obvious, but competence was invisible. Her days were structured. Morning check-ins, task boards, calendar updates, quiet productivity. She liked that. Evan, her manager, ran things casually. Team meetings felt more like conversations. People shared personal updates. Health issues came up often. Evan encouraged it. He liked to say, "We're humans first." At first, that felt supportive. Then, it started to feel expected. Maya had a chronic health condition. Nothing visible, nothing dramatic, but it required occasional medical appointments. She handled it professionally. She used sick time. She notified HR when needed. She did not discuss details. For 2 years, that system worked, until Evan started asking questions. At first, it was framed as concern. "How are you holding up? Is this something we should plan around? Should the team know anything?" Maya deflected politely. "I'm managing it. I'll let HR know if accommodations are needed." Evan nodded, but he didn't stop asking. Small moments began to stack. A comment during a meeting, a follow-up message after a sick day, a casual, "So what's actually going on?" Each time Maya redirected. Each time the tone cooled slightly. Nothing explicit, nothing reportable, just pressure. Co-workers noticed but didn't intervene. Some advised her to just share a little. Others warned her not to. HR remained neutral. "Managers sometimes ask out of concern," they said. "Just maintain boundaries." So she did, or at least she tried. The first unresolved micro-event happened during a project delay. Maya had to step out for a medical appointment. When she returned, Evan had reassigned part of her workload temporarily. He didn't ask first. He didn't warn her. He framed it as support. "Didn't want you stressed." She thanked him, but something felt off. The second micro-event came weeks later. A new project was announced. Maya expected to be included. She wasn't. When she asked Evan about it, he said, "I didn't know if your situation would allow the flexibility this one needs." Maya reminded him that her availability hadn't changed. Evan smiled, just being cautious. The third micro-event was quieter. Her name disappeared from internal planning emails. Not all of them, just enough to notice. She found out about decisions after they were made. When she asked why, Evan said, "I didn't want to overwhelm you." At this point, Maya felt boxed in. If she pushed back, she risked being labeled difficult. If she stayed silent, she risked becoming irrelevant. She documented everything: dates, messages, project changes. She still hoped it would resolve. She still believed there was a misunderstanding. The moment came during a one-on-one meeting. Evan closed the door. He spoke gently. He said he needed clarity. He asked directly about her condition, what it was, how long it would last, whether it affected her long-term reliability. Maya paused. Then she said it. "I'm not comfortable discussing my medical information with my manager." She referenced policy. She said HR could handle accommodations. She said she wanted to keep things professional. Evan's expression changed. Not angry, disappointed. He ended the meeting early. After that, the erasure accelerated. Her calendar access was limited. Her role was streamlined. She was removed from a recurring meeting she'd run for years. When she asked why, Evan said, "We're adjusting responsibilities." No explanation, no timeline, no reassurance. Maya went to HR. They listened. They said they'd look into it. They advised patience. They reminded her retaliation was serious, but difficult to prove. Maya left feeling exposed and small. When the story first appeared online, reactions were immediate. One commenter wrote, "This is textbook soft retaliation. You don't need a smoking gun when the pattern is this clear." Another pushed back. "Managers need information to plan. If she won't share anything, what is he supposed to do?" A third took a cautious stance. "I get why she set the boundary, but I also get why a manager would worry about long-term availability. This feels messy, not malicious." The comments split early, and they stayed split. Maya realized something important. Nothing was going to stop unless she did something decisive. Not emotional, not confrontational. Decisive. She consulted an employment attorney, not to sue, to understand leverage. The advice was careful. Document everything. Communicate in writing. And if retaliation continued, file a formal complaint. Maya took a different route, one that would later divide opinion. She submitted a formal request for accommodations through HR, not because she needed new ones, but because it forced documentation. It required written justification for role changes. It triggered compliance illustrates. Evan was notified. Suddenly, everything was formal. Meetings had agendas. Emails replaced conversations. Tone shifted again. Then Maya did something else. She declined optional tasks. She stopped covering gaps. She worked exactly within her role description. Nothing more, nothing less. When asked why, she cited workload balance. She did not explain further. Within weeks, productivity slowed. Projects stalled. Dependencies became visible, and management noticed. Evan was questioned. Why wasn't Maya handling X? Why were timelines slipping? Evan said she had pulled back. Maya pointed to her documented responsibilities. HR reviewed the trail. This is where opinion turned sharply. One commenter said, "This is brilliant. She didn't explode. She didn't quit. She let the system feel the consequences." Another was harsher. "Weaponizing policy to punish a manager is petty. She could have just transferred or left." A third hesitated. "I'm torn." Her response makes sense, but it also escalated things in a way that hurt the whole team. No consensus formed. Only tension. This is where internet court slows down, because intent and impact diverge. Evan may not have intended retaliation, but the impact was loss of role, influence, and opportunity. Maya may not have intended disruption, but the impact was operational strain. From an HR standpoint, retaliation doesn't require malice, only consequence. From an ethical standpoint, proportionality matters. Did the response match the offense, or did it overshoot? Some jurors focused on power imbalance. A manager asking medical questions crosses policy. Even concern has limits. Others focused on collaboration. Teams function on trust. Maya's withdrawal affected co-workers who did nothing wrong. Long-term consequences were debated. If Maya stayed, would she be sidelined forever? If she left, would this follow her? If Evan stayed, would behavior change? Or just become more subtle? Consider this scenario. If Maya had enforced the boundary earlier, emotionally, she might have avoided escalation, but practically, the outcome may have been the same. If her response had been softer, more conversation, more reassurance, the retaliation might have slowed, or it might have continued quietly. If Evan had been the one pulling back after being denied information, would we see it as professional distance or punishment? If Maya had done nothing at all, she may have kept peace, but lost her role anyway. Was escalation inevitable once the line was crossed? Months later, things settled. Maya was offered a lateral transfer, same pay, different team. She accepted. Evan remained. The department reorganized. No public consequences. No apology. Maya described the outcome as relief, not victory. She didn't feel proud. She felt tired. This case has no clear villain, only choices. A boundary that deserved respect, a response that created collateral damage. So now we ask the jurors, was Maya protecting herself or punishing her manager? Did Evan's quiet erasure justify a systemic response? Or did the response cross a line of its own? You decide. Was the response understandable but too far? Internet court is adjourned. Let the debate begin in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, be sure to hit like and subscribe. It's always appreciated.